Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Mastering Your CRM Expert Live Coaching Sessions with myself, Glenn, and our extraordinary, better than life, wonderful main host, Heather.
Overboard, Glenn, overboard.
Oh, well, I gotta, make you look better because you are better.
Oh, goodness. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We have some exciting news because we got something new that was just released today. So we'll definitely be going over that and a lot of other things as well. One other thing that we like to add in here is that this is interactive. So we do like that you ask questions because we're here so we can support you in using your CRM and making sure you're getting the best use of it. So we do please ask that you ask questions in our chat so we can help answer those for you, as well as we cover a lot of information. Probably another thing that I don't really say in all these webinars that I really should start saying too is that if you are already in here using a CRM, don't think that you have to use all of these features and that you have to learn them all at once. It's a lot of information to take in. So just kind of work on what's more important to you in your business and focus on that. If it's just like the organization and then reaching out to your contacts, and all these extra features are kind of like a bonus. And so when you feel like you've got it down pat, you're figuring out the other stuff and you want to learn something new, then definitely. But again, don't overwhelm yourself and think that, otherwise you're not going to retain the information. Another reason why we like to come here a couple times a month to go over this information with you and share our knowledge and help make sure you get the best training and use your CRM, to the best of your knowledge. So what do you think, Glenn?
Absolutely. We are definitely here to assist. We're definitely here to make things work for you. We're also very proud of the fact that all the training that goes on at our company is by real live humans. Yes, I am not a robot in a human suit. So everything is done by humans. Support is done by humans. So we have not been taken over by our robot overlords yet.
Yeah, yet.
But we also understand, because of the fact that technology is either your greatest ally or your biggest headache, we want to make it so that it's not a headache and make it so that things work easily for you. So that's why we do these webinars. That's why we have our onboarding team, which both Heather and I are happily a part of. And that's why we have our support team. You guys have a
Absolutely.
very busy job, and I'm talking more than Heather actually expected, but I know you guys have a very busy and intense job. So we try to do everything to make your lives easier.
Absolutely. And we do have, when we're not here on the live webinars, we also have one-on-one that we offer with concierge. Apart from that, we also have our live chat, which we are real people in the live chat, not robots. And we have our support.topproducer.com, which you can also find in your CRM in the top right corner. There's a drop down called support site. So you can never go wrong. There's always going to be information that you can find available for you.
Yep, we are here for you at any time.
All right, so let's dive in and get started. One thing that I do like to, I'm not say really skip this part. When you first log in, you're going to go to your settings. I will go over it briefly. I'm hoping, or maybe even assuming, that by this point you've probably already signed in and went through your settings. However, I'm going to explain it to you really quickly here. And if there's anything that you're stuck on in the settings part, please let us know so we can kind of slow down a bit, stop, and show you how to do that. So if you've already signed in by now, you've already signed up for Top Producer, you would have received an email with a username and password. Right in that email, you can click right there. It's going to bring you right to the login. Otherwise, you're going to go to crm.topproducer.com. Glenn's also really handy at putting some links in the chat for you as well. So when you sign in for the first time, you haven't signed in yet, it will bring you to your, well, first you're going to get the agreement that you're agreeing that you're going to have the CRM for a 1-year term. After that, it will ask you to add a contact. We usually suggest that you add yourself as a contact, so that way you can kind of test out the system. If not, you can even add a customer that you're currently working with, so that way you can kind of get in there and start using it. From there, though, I would go directly to the settings. Two places you can get to settings. You can either get there in the very bottom left, and as well as the very top right where your picture will be eventually. You click there, and there's a drop down and it'll bring you to your settings there. And so when you click on there, this is what your settings looks like. This is what I'm going to kind of skim over really quick because I mean, like most things that you're setting up, it is pretty straightforward. However, again, if you're stuck, it's not working for you, ask us and let us know. The first settings tab is a My Information. And I like to make this very clear and let everyone know if you are using Market Snapshot. Even if you're not using Market Snapshot, which is another feature we're going to go over a little bit later. Also for merge codes, like so when you in an email, you might say agent's phone number, agent's mobile, agent's address. It will pull from this information if you're using that. So you want to make sure that everything you put in here, including the address that I can see Glenn keeps going over, you want to make sure that this address is not your home address, that this is your office address. If you don't have an office that you work from and you work from home, please don't put your street number in because this information will get put out to marketing for the customers to see. So we don't want any strangers showing up at your door, preferably. So again, all this information will go onto your marketing, your photo, your logo, any information that you want to give out. Okay, and once, no, go ahead.
So there is a way that you can actually put in some of your info here, but for some of the marketing, especially your market snapshot, you can have it not display the same as your address above. So I just put in Birch Bay, Washington, because I'm in British Columbia on the West Coast. But I'm going to put Ottawa, Ontario, because somebody I know is going to be living that way soon. So it makes sense to put it over there. But you can see you could put a specific address in here, but then have the address of the city and the state that you most work in. That way, if you do accidentally put something in here that you wouldn't want people to really see, if you accidentally notice it, you can change it down there, but still, I think it's best to actually, like Heather says, never put in your personal home address because it's 2024 and there's crazy people out there.
Yeah, and that's out of our hands. We can't control that. So once you've filled out My Information, there's more tabs that you're going to go through, each on the left-hand side. Again, you want to keep this all related to your business. Email integration is a really important one. So when you send emails from Top Producer, this is the email that your customers are going to see. We are going to focus on this a little bit more as well, but so you want to put in the email you want your customer to see. And you're just, again, put it through, click authorize email, make sure you go through the steps. There's going to be like a little box or two to check off when you're going through your email. Don't forget to do that. And this is what it looks like when it's set up. It'll say, it takes a second or two. So don't worry, just give it that second to pop up on your screen. It'll say initializing, it'll turn to running, and you're all set. This is exactly how it should look. You're still going to see an empty space at the top there because you can still add another email after. When you initially add one, it does take a few minutes. So I go back to it later. You have that option to add another email if you'd like.
Yeah, it will take a few minutes because what it's doing is the email is then going to look out and see if you have any correspondence between yourself and your clients already in the attached email, and then link them so that you can go to the specific contact record and see any past correspondence you've had with that specific contact. This way, anything you're looking for, let's say you're looking for a specific form that you filled out or a contract that you sent back and forth between you and your client, and you just go to their contact record, go to the emails, and you'll be able to just go through and find emails related to them, not to the thousands of other emails you guys get on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And that's another great thing too about sending emails from Top Producer is that your customers are not going to see anything to do with Top Producer. They still only see your email address. Also, when you send it from here, it doesn't go through Top Producer's server. It goes through your email server. So if you are using a Gmail and you send from Top Producer, you're going to have the copy in Top Producer. You'll still also have the send copy in Gmail as well. Same with email signature. You want to make sure that you have your signature at the bottom of your emails. That'll just automatically add every time you send out an email. So make sure to add that here in your settings. You have, awesome. Very easy. And if you already use one, I usually try and copy and paste it over. If it's like a image signature, you can just go to the little image down at the bottom and add that. Heather and Glen.
You're forgetting to give Utah billing.
And you can add links on here, which make it very easy for your customers as well to access your website or anything that you'd like to send them to.
Simple.
Awesome.
I do recommend, you did see me adjusting the size of the photo. I do recommend if you are putting a photo in there, do get a lower file size. Now, lower file size does not mean lower quality. You can still take a photo that was taken on a high definition digital camera, bring it into the system and resize it through any photo editing program, even Microsoft Paint. You just resize it. It will make a copy that is a smaller file size. You want to do this because you're going to be sending the email out to lots of people, and they're not going to want to sit there and wait for a 25 gigabyte image to load onto their email. They'll have left the email before your cool image shows up. So rule of thumb is always to try to get an image down to the size of below 1 megabyte. Again, you can do that through Microsoft Paint, Photoshop. There's a free Photoshop alternative called GIMP, and we're not associated with any of them. I'm just throwing stuff out from history, but it makes sense. Lower the file size. You'll get more information to people faster and with less headaches of images not showing up.
Absolutely. So again, with your settings here, just go through each tab on the left-hand side one by one. It is pretty straightforward information. MLS credentials is another really important one, so you can pull directly from your MLS. If you are having a hard time adding this, if you have, so one thing I like to think about, if you have letters in there, try it uppercase, try it lowercase, or take them out completely and just try the numbers. If for whatever reason you still can't get it to add, reach out to us on our bottom live chat. And if you're doing it right now while you're trying to get it set up and it doesn't come across as valid, you can just let us know in the chat here. We may or may not be able to assist you with that. And if not, like the chat will as well. But yeah, so go through, add as much of this information as possible because in the settings, because that's just going to make it much more easier for you to use your CRM and get the best out of it. So now let's jump ahead to the fun stuff because I'm hoping that everyone's set up by now.
So I'm going to bring up one fun thing that's in here.
Absolutely.
So if you are a Zillow Premier agent, please don't forget to go to your Zillow Connect here and integrate your Zillow account so that you can have that two-way communication between Zillow and Top Producer. We have a good relationship there where we're able to do that. Anything you change in Zillow will show up in Top Producer and vice versa. So again, if you're a Zillow Premier agent, get your contacts going directly into Top Producer and get your notes and everything right here. So you never miss an opportunity to reach out, communicate, or just follow up with your clients.
Awesome.
Okay.
Talking about following up, you just kind of went right into the next thing that we're going to go over together. So one of the main reasons, or a couple of the main reasons I would think that you would have a CRM is to stay organized with your contacts. And a lot of it too is also following up with your contacts, because when you follow up, you know, you're kind of giving yourself like a good name with the contacts that you currently have, which can then lead to referrals. And or if you helped somebody buy a house, when they go to sell maybe a few years later, they will also use you again because you've been on top of these people and they remember you and they like you and all that fun stuff. So there's a couple different ways that we can suggest following up, and we're going to go over that. So follow-up coach is a really great one, and it's already ready for you to use. It's right there, a couple places. Now, something new, again, we just got was our dashboard. So when you sign in right away to Top Producer, it's automatically going to take you to the dashboard. And right here, now you're going to see 3 of your contacts to follow up with. So you don't even have to look for this. It's right here in front of your face. It's right at the top of your page. All you have to do is click on the contact's name where it says follow up. It brings you to their contact record. With that being said, follow up with, send them a text, call them, send them an email, send them a market snapshot. However you feel is best to follow up with these customers, you can do that. And maybe it's somebody that you just saw on the street over the weekend or something, or in the grocery store, and you guys were chatting. And so you're coming in here to make those notes now. And essentially you followed up with them as well. But this is just like another important way to keep on top of the people that you've worked with in the past. And it's that easy. In that probably less than 30 seconds I was talking, Glenn went and made a note and saved it, and you're already done. So following up with your contacts can be very easy and quick. Using the follow-up coach is just an easy way to already have it done and ready for you. Another really neat way, did you want to add anything about the follow-up coach, Glenn?
So the only other thing I would ever add, Heather, and I appreciate you remembering I'm here, is on the dashboard, we do have the 3, but if you're familiar with going in the old way to contacts and then follow-up coach, you will still see the 5 that were there. You'll notice it still has the one that I completed there. Two things to keep in mind. Don't ever click the skip button. I know it might be tempting to say, oh, I'll come back to this person. If you click on skip, they go to the very end of the list, which could mean you don't see them for 180 days. So let's not do that. I mean, that's 6 months down the road. You're not going to be reaching out, and you might miss an opportunity. The second thing is, and I like to say, if you only work 300 days of the year and use the 5 people on your follow-up coach, you'll reach out to 1,500 people in 1 year. I know nobody in real estate only works 300 days of the year. I actually had someone tell me that they do 365.
Why?
So yeah, I know. I asked them, they don't even take Christmas off, and they're like, nope.
I like vacation.
I know, I love vacations too. But if you do the follow-up coach for 360 days a year, you're going over 1,800 people. As you can see in our test account here, we have 504 fake names in here. So we would actually go through our whole database 3 times in 1 year just by using the follow-up coach. Nobody would ever fall through the cracks, which we know can happen, but it would never happen. And let's just say I do get through all 5 of them because it's like, I'm from Vancouver. We had snow last week. Everything shut down because we don't understand what snow is here in Vancouver. And if you get a millimeter of snow, people forget how to drive. So we just shut everything down. So I could go through this. If I got through all 5, I just click refresh list, and there's new ones there. You can even do this here on the front on the dashboard. You just go to dashboard, you do the 3, hit refresh list, and it'll update. So there you go.
I would also suggest too, with the way that the market's been, this is another reason why you definitely should be following up, is because you are kind of having to work a little bit harder to get those people in, to reel them in. So, hey, I'm here to help you, right? So don't forget to do that, because then you can get that sale. So yeah, follow-up coach, absolutely. Another different way that I think is really neat to follow up, if you go ahead and click on your contacts on the left-hand side there. Yeah, so we have, like you see right now, it says overdue on this one here. So I think this is really neat that each of your tabs across the top you have, and yours might look a little bit different if you've already customized this top bar, which we will get into in a minute as well. If it looks as it does like when you first signed up for Top Producer, you're going to have new, engaged, future, active, closed. And these, we think of these as like your sales pipeline, what status your customer's in. When we go over this in a little bit, how you can create your own tabs, you can still put follow-ups for them. So I love this because you can create your own tabs and decide how often you want to follow up with your customers, where you would add where it says add reminder. So just so you're looking at the close tab right now, or while we are here, you go add reminder, and you can have it for as many days as you'd like, 365. So Glenn only wants to reach out to them once a year. But you can have your add reminder for as often as you want, or so I mean, your new contacts, you probably don't want to go more than 2 or 3 days without reaching out to them. The people that you're engaged with, maybe a week or 2 weeks. So you can really decide and add your different reminders for each tab, which I think is pretty cool. And then you'll get reminded in the sense that overdue is what you see when it's been past the time that you've given it. This says every day, so definitely overdue. If it doesn't say that, it'll either just be what, like it'll just be white, like most of them look like, and then there's no like having to follow up with them right away. But before it goes overdue, you'll see it like a light yellow, and it'll say follow up, which kind of just gives you that little push, like that like reminder. Don't forget. Awesome.
Do you want to
And
do
then,
creating
sorry?
tabs now? You want to do creating tabs now? Because I know that's
Yes,
one
let's
of your
do creating
favorites.
tabs because this is one of my favorite parts. I love it. And I love this. The reason why the reason why I love this so much is because you can customize it. I don't even know if I own a software program myself that I get to customize. And I am all about customization because I feel like making a program work for you is like the best thing ever, because you might use different words than what we put in here. You might use different words than what the other agent or the other realtors are going to be using, right? So customize this to fit you and your business. So you can have, just as examples, you can have a hot leads tab, or maybe instead of active, you might use escrow. You might just use different wording. Sometimes people like to put a past clients tab, or you might number it from like, let's say 250 to a 500, or 500 to 800, 800 to 1 or 1.2 or whatever. Just kind of cash money, whatever you want to do. You can really create these tabs based on how you perform with work and just make it easy for yourself.
We
So
got a
another
quick
thing of,
question here, Heather.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Pam's asked, engage means what? So the best way to look at it, and the way I always explain it, you have your five levels of the sales pipeline. New is those customers that you really want to get to right away because they're new and you want to get them before they have the attention span of a goldfish and go look for another realtor. So you get to them as fast as possible. Engaged is the ones that you've reached out to, but you're still working on whether or not you're actually going to work with them now, or maybe they're not ready. They may not have their finances in plan. Once you've got all that figured out, you will then go to either future or active. Future means, right now may not be the time, maybe a couple of months down the road, or who knows, maybe a year down the road or something. So you put them in future. Active means they've got all their ducks in a row. One of them is not a goose, but they're all ducks. They're all in a row. They're ready to go. And then closed. I I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the big old bag of money because nobody carries a bag of money around with them. But it does say that you've got closed, everything's finished, and now you can do the after sale celebration. So I hope that makes sense.
So another cool thing about this too, not all these tabs, but a lot of them, if you're like, okay, you know what, this tab just is not going to be useful for me. So say for the close, for example, like this, it just doesn't work for you. You can click on it, drag it up or down, and it's going to turn red, and then release your finger from the mouse. You'll get the option there to delete the tab, and you can delete it. If you have any contacts under that tab, you're not deleting the contacts, you're just deleting the tab at the top. You can also bring it back by setting it back to default settings. Yeah, reset tabs to default settings, exactly. And you can create your own tabs, which this is the part I love the most because again, you're customizing it to work for you. So you can do this by types, by status, and by search. So let's just say if we're going to do one by status and you wanted to change it to go from escrow to active, you can create your escrow tab and have it under the active status, and then create your tab, and there you go. And then doing that, you can then get rid of, and you can click and drag them also, which is cool, and put them in the order you want. And then you can take the active and get rid of that because you're now going to use escrow instead.
Heather's got it right. I like to say that this is another great way because we have our sales pipeline that we've used for years. It may not use the exact verbiage that you do. So when you're ready to make that change, go ahead and do it. And as you can see, everything is, except for the all tab, but everything is movable. So you can put the follow-up coach at the front, and you can put close way at the back because that's all done. You don't need to worry about them today. And recent, that's another good one to have up at the front. But
There are a few tabs you can delete. And if you're just not going to use them, I would always kind of say put them at the end. So they're just kind of out of your way. Another thing I do really like about creating tabs under contact types is because you can put multiple types under one tab. So which is cool. So yeah, if we go create, and let's just call this, I don't know, one hot or Heather's demo. And you can add multiple types in here. So you can just go ahead and click, yeah, and let's add another one. Let's add a couple. Why not? There we go. And Heather made me do this. So those two types are now going to automatically go under that tab. Absolutely. Same thing if you're like, hey, I don't need this tab anymore. I got the use I needed from it. You can just add, oh, you can add your reminder. There you go. Love it. Thanks for adding that in there. Another way to follow up. Cool. Yeah. And then just put me in the trash. They haven't said that was like an old joke, an old thing. And now
it just, it's the gift that keeps giving. But here's the thing, if I go up here and do a search for is Heather demo, there's the actual contact type and the customer is still there. So all I've done is deleted the tab. I haven't completely thrown Heather in the trash, just her tab.
not completely, just a little bit. Okay. Awesome. So, and another way to follow up, I think this is the last one. Is it plans? Is that what we're going to go over?
Yeah.
Okay, plans. Let's do it. And because this is actually a way that not only can you follow up with your customers, but you can have it done automatically. So yes, you're going to go in here and you're going to create a plan that you want to put on your customers, whether it's just buyers, sellers, whether it's all your contacts. You're going to decide who you want to reach out to, and then you're going to create the plan that works best for you and your business. And the plan doesn't have to be just, you might think of it also as like a drip campaign. The plan doesn't have to be just emails. Within the plan, you can also have to-dos, which is, you know, send your customer a market snapshot or set them up on one. A to-do can also be, you know, create some flyers and send those out, or go door knocking, or whatever it is that you do on that side. Also can be a phone call reminder. Or you can just have all emails, totally up to you, which is the automatic. Obviously, door knocking is not going to be automatic. You would have to get up and go do that. But you could have a plan with 10 emails that just get automatically sent out, whether you want to do that bi-weekly or monthly or however often you want to send emails. I highly suggest not to do too many, because your customer might be like, okay, too many emails, stop sending them, you know, stop, but just enough where you're like, hey, I'm here, and you still want to keep in front of them, but they're also not deleting your emails. So they're well aware. So
Let's,
oh, sorry?
I was gonna say, why don't we show off a plan that might work good?
100%, let's do it.
So what I'll do is I'll click on the browse templates here. You'll notice I have a few here. Heather and I use this account for demonstrations a lot, so things get added. I will also say, just for sanity's sake for me, if you see something go funky, is the best way to put it. Most likely it's because I have abused this account for testing. My title is actually onboarding and tier 2, so I do a lot of the higher level testing. So I try to break stuff. If I break it, I tell people. So if you do see something go weird, most likely it's just because I've broken our test account. It shouldn't go that way on yours. But now that I've got that disclaimer out of the way, you click on Browse Templates, and then you come over here, and you're going to see when you open it up that there's 3 different names of test plans. You have your contact one. This is for information you want to send to your contact, or for items you need to do for that specific person, like set up an appointment, do a phone call. Transaction is a good checklist for reminders of things that you need to do within the transaction lifetime. And lead response plan is for, like, say you've got your Zillow leads coming in, or you've got another location that's bringing leads into your top producer. You can have it so they automatically get an email and you automatically set up a phone call or anything like that. So you have that. So let's grab one here. Non-responsive, that's one we've used a few times, mainly because this is a good 28-day one that is just emails. Actually, no, let's not do one that's just that quick. What do you think? There we go. Buyer prospect plan, 12 months. So you can see, yeah, 12 months. You can see here that it has emails, it has appointments, phone calls, and to-dos. So we always say make a copy of our plans for yourself. You do want to create it from the template, but you want to make it differentiating so it's yours. So I always put a couple of number signs in front, and then I save the plan. Now this is where you get to make the additions. You can add tasks, you can delete tasks. But this one here, it's an email task. We click on edit task, and I'm going a little fast and not actually hitting the right thing to show people. You come over here, and I see Heather laughing at me. That's why I realized. But over here, you have an edit task button. You click on that, and here you can see when it goes out, what template is attached. And we'll mention about templates in a moment. But it's a good idea to know which template you're using. And you can have it here where it'll include your signature automatically and send out automatically. That way the email will, on one day after the plan start, that email is going to go out to your client. And again, because it's going out of top producer, it's going to go out through your linked email account with your name and all that on there and not say it's coming from a third party. You have other things like this one here. This is a to-do for you to do. Again, you can set the time it's done. You can also decide who it's attached to. So you have all these options, and let's just say, I'm a telephone tech support person, so after work, I don't like using the phone, so I'm just going to delete this phone call. And there you go. Heather is somebody who loves using the phone, so she would never do what I just did.
People text me and I video call them back. They probably hate it.
Yeah, exactly. So you can make the edits as you need, and then when you close this here, you're going to notice it's right here. You have that plan, you can open it, and you can edit it as you want. Now, I do see a question here from Matthew. Is there an integration to be able to make calls directly through the CRM dashboard? You want to answer that one, Heather, or shall I?
Yes, but I feel like there's kind of a workaround too. So, not an integration. Make sure that I'm getting that right. If your phone is kind of connected, I know my phone is kind of connected with my new laptop. You can like, can we go to contacts so we can see this? Thank you. And we have well, you can go in this way as well and hit the phone number. Even right from this board, like from the main, exactly, you can hit the phone number here. If your phone is kind of hooked up already to your computer, that is one way to do it. You also have the option of adding Top Producer X to your cell phone on the home screen, and then you can just, again, just hit the calls and it dials directly out from your phone. So adding an integration, no, but that would be the workaround that I would suggest. What do you think, Glenn?
Yeah, it's mainly if you're using a phone program, say like a Skype, or I believe even Teams has the ability from Microsoft. Well, both of them are from Microsoft. Uh, Anything that you've got connected like that for a phone program on your computer, if you click on the phone number, it should auto dial for you. As Heather was saying, there is a new thing with Microsoft that if you do have a Android-based phone, you can connect that to Microsoft products and it would allow that. Now, does it automatically make a note of the call if you go through TP? Are you able to record calls? That is not something that I've ever heard of being put into a lot of real estate CRM. So that's news to me, Matthew. So I'll be investigating that one.
Yeah,
There might be a different
sorry.
situation with it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so I was gonna say my understanding too is that when you're making the calls, it's actually not going through the CRM, it's still going through your phone. So it's not going through Top Producer CRM, but it doesn't record them.
I think I do know in the past we had an integration with a program called Mojo Dialer, where you would do the dials through Mojo, choose and send them over to Top Producer. That still works in Top Producer 8i, and you can get the information into X. But for a direct connection within here where you upload your list and start the auto dialer, that hasn't been introduced. But leads to another thing that we have our feedback button down here in the bottom left.
Mhm.
The more people that ask for that, the more it goes to our developers and they can try to get this into the system. We're always trying to find the best way to make an all-in-one platform for you so you don't have to go to different locations. And sometimes because we're the geeks that make and fix this, we don't always think of the things that you guys need. So please do, uh, I love to say this, abuse our developers and our leadership by clicking on this and giving them a lot of suggestions. The more work they do, the more I get to showcase to people, and I love new technology, so I love showing it off.
Another thing that I would suggest too is using the wrap up. That is a great button, not only to say that you've made that call, but to also add a follow up to remind yourself what's coming next. So even as soon as you call your customer, have their contact record open because you might have important things that you might need to make note of. So right here, as Glenn's showing, you can click on the little phone icon. You can also put them in the status, maybe now they've gone from new to engaged or even active because they're like, hey, I'm ready to work with you right now. So you can put them in the correct status. You can make that quick note about what you discussed, and then you can do the follow-up. So maybe the follow-up is that you're actually going to meet with them in person. So you're booking that appointment. And all of this information will go into your tasks as well.
Yeah, it didn't fail on me that time. I must have
Yeah,
fixed what I
so
had broken.
again, like just a few seconds as I was talking, you made that note and there you go. Now you have the follow-up in the tasks under your contact record. But even more important, you have the tasks in your tasks on the side toolbar, as well as the follow-up appointment will also be saved in your calendar. So
So
these are
what I'm doing is because I put that one call out a ways, you have options when you come in for your tasks. You can see what you have for today. So on my test account, I have nothing. I mean, our test account. I keep saying it's mine. It's probably because I abuse it more than you do. Our test account, we don't have anything, but tomorrow we don't have anything either. But in the next 7 days, we do have. But if you want to go to a custom date range, you can do this, and it does go out a couple of weeks. Yeah, that'd be a couple of weeks. So you can see what's going on. Now, if you need to go farther, you can. Let's say I want to see what's going on until the end of May. These are all of our tasks.
And so right now, Glenn is on the task tab on the left-hand side. So this is showing you tasks for all your contacts, not just the one that you just created. Also, while we're doing this presentation, please let us know if either of us are talking too fast or showing you information too fast because it's a lot of info to take in. Just put it in the chat and we can go back and slow down and show you how we did that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Heather and I do this with our eyes closed at this point because we do it so often that
Muscle
yes,
memory.
yeah, we do need to be told to slow down now and then. So apologies in advance.
Yes, absolutely. The call is recorded and we do have that available on the webinar. Like we'll show you where it's actually located. Actually, Glenn, if we want to quickly jump over to the support site, so you can get to that in the top right corner and you go to your support site under the webinar at the very top of the bar, webinar schedule, you're going to see the previously recorded. So that will be up later today, this recording.
Yeah, I will get it up today. Heather will remind me, I hope, and I'll make sure I put it up today.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, so what's next? We've done all the follow-ups that I can think of right now. Ooh, is it types? So
Yes, it is.
I was thinking about this today because again, this is just another way that you can stay organized. I am one of those people that I am very much like to be organized. So types are one of the big things for me that I like. Also, I've just recently started a marketing course. So using your types are going to be very essential to keeping on top of your customers and to be able to know kind of like who you're reaching out to and what you're reaching out to them for. So, I've kind of decided like, you're going to use your types based on, yes, you have the buyer, the seller, those are the normal types that everyone uses. But, get a little bit more creative, get personal with your customers. You might have customers that love fishing, that love boating, they're dog lovers. They're military, they're retirees, they love football, and they watch the Super Bowl. I got it right this time. But so for example, if they love football and they watch the Super Bowl, use that as a way to send them a recipe. That is another way to follow up. If they are big boaters, maybe there's like a boating event going on in your area, you can send them information on that. So instead of just your regular, hi, how's it going? Are you interested in the market? Send out these fun little things, and it just makes your customer, puts a smile on your customer's face. Again, they see your name. It's other ways to reach out, and that way you can get those referrals coming in, and those customers are going to come back to you. They're going to be repeat customers. So creating types is very easy, and we're going to show you how to do it. Okay.
One quick thing I want to do just for Christine here.
Absolutely.
We did go a little fast on that. To get to the support site from within your top producer, you go up to your top right. This will either have a photo or just be the silhouette like I have. Click on it and just click on support site. That'll take you directly to that site. And then I think I still have it open. Yep. And then you would go, it will take you directly to the main site right here. And then webinar schedule is just up here, mastering your top producer. And this will automatically have the most recent one that we did, because as you can, well, it should. This one has one from January of 2023. So I'll have to make sure that I ask our web person to update that one for us. But this will take you to the link, the playlist. We do have a group of these there, so you can find any of the previously recorded ones. See, we've got one here from October. I could have sworn I had uploaded a newer one. I'll have to double check that. I'll bet this was action. No, that would have been last year. Okay, yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling, so let me get back to you, Heather.
Not a problem. Let's go and show how easy it is to add types, as well as because you can search by them. And I did tell you earlier that we had something brand new that was just released today, which is our search. So let's just kind of use it all in one. This is going to be fun. Okay, so let's go back to our contacts, and we're going to have a look at those types. So you're going to see there's already a bunch that Glen's created here. Some of them are in color. Some of them are gray. Anytime you add your own type, by default, it will come in gray. But you can color code these as much as you'd like. We can show you that a little bit later on. It is in your settings under the UI settings. That's just kind of going, one of those things that's not really important right now, but if you want to make it fun and colorful, you can. So one thing that I love about the types is how easy it is to search. And let me just move you over to my big screen because I can't even see the types names. Here we go. So holiday card, this might be an important one. So if we go ahead and clicked right on the holiday card, as soon as you click on it, it just bunches those contacts together. So now you're like, okay, I just want to reach out to these customers only. You're going to send them a holiday digital card because we're sending an email. So now you've added these people, and exactly see how Glen's doing in the top left corner there. He just selects all these contacts. And now you can go and send them all an email, or he can even put them on a plan that we just created too for follow-up. So that is another reason why types are very important. Another thing, let's just say, okay, I have another type that I need to add to these contacts because that's what we're kind of focusing on is types right now. You can select multiple customers and give them the type at the same time versus having to go into them one by one. We can select them, click on the tag here, and now you can put in the type that you want to add to. Look, Heather, I did it. Love it. Okay, so you can either choose types that are already available for you. When you click on the add type, there's going to be a drop down that you can choose from. Otherwise, don't worry that, oh, I can only use the types that's in here, because again, you're going to have types that are special to you and your business and your location. So start typing it in, create whatever you want to do, and you're going to get an add button, just like what Glen created for the look, Heather, I did it, which is clearly not a type that's already in the system. Awesome. And so you can add multiple types as well to this list. Yeah, let's go back. We'll just do it another time to get so we want to say, let's call them all buyers. Let's call them all football fans. There we go. And military. I'm pretty sure
You
military
read my
families.
mind. I was going for that one.
Yay, there you go. Add contact types. So now all those three contact types just got added to all the contacts that has holiday card. It was that easy.
Yeah, it does make it so that you do see where it says plus three more. So it does make it a little bit difficult to see them all. But then let's say I just want to see the military families. I can bring those up. It brings everybody else plus anybody that was in that category.
So should we go show everyone the new search field right now? And
I think that's a brilliant idea, Heather.
yeah, so I'm probably getting Glenn to do a lot of this, but I just wanted to say before we kind of dig into it, is that the search where it says search contacts in that bar, this is all we had up until today. We just had that bar. That you could still search some things, but now we have its and more advanced search, which you may have seen when you signed in today for the first time. But if you go up in the far top right corner, you'll see the search button and you see, what do we want to call this? Like
Uh, slides.
slides. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And if you put your mouse over it, you're going to see that it says advanced search. So let's go and have a click on there.
Okay, I'm going to very quickly answer a couple of questions.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do this.
So for Pam's, where is the add contact type button? Once I've selected all, it's this one right here. It looks like a tag. So it looks like you're adding a specific tag. We figured we call it contact types, but a tag is universally recognizable. As for bulk remove contact types, not at this time. Again, feedback. Let people know, let our developers know. It's great that we can add. It would be a good idea to be able to remove as well. Because,
Especially being able to remove in bulk. Absolutely. I think that's a great question. Thanks.
yeah, and I do believe that is coming. So thank you, Lauren. I know it's on the radar. I just don't know where it is on the roadmap. But the more people that give the feedback, the better. So now getting back to what Heather wanted me to demo, we have this awesome new advanced search. Before, if I wanted to search a contact type, I would have to type football fans. So I could do this search up here and it would do the search. So anybody who has the football fans is coming through there. I'm going to admit, as even a computer guy, that's not intuitive.
We
So
don't
what
have to
you
use
can,
the is anymore.
right,
I was so excited about this.
you can just go to advanced search and I want to search.
And yes, Christine, you can search by source now in this advanced search.
Let me go over here and look, Heather, I did it. I'm going to
Yay.
apply and it's going to automatically do the search. And there we go. There are all those people that I put on that. Let's say I want to search for anybody in the system that has the first name of Heather. What a surprise. I have a Heather in here. Who would have thunk it? But yeah, now the other thing, I don't know how well this would work for this account, but you can do it by an email address. If you remember your client's email address, and I will admit very well guilt to this of knowing a person's email address, but forgetting their name. It's because I see so many different clients on a different day that I once actually would remember somebody by their email address, but always had to double check to see what their name was. I'd be able to search for them. I don't know. Do I have you? So good that I can type fast, isn't it?
Mhm. There we
So I've
go.
got you in here with that email address twice. So there you go. So yeah,
Yes, because I was a Heather C and gotcha.
yeah. So there's another thing. Let's say if I clear the search, if I just do a search name, last name and start with C, unfortunately, that's not working right now. So that is something that is going to be worked on. So you do need to have more information in there. But yeah, you can do it by street. If you have a specific street name that you're looking for or a specific city. Pretty sure I've got Canadian contacts in here. Yep. So all these people here are
Fake
in the city of
contacts.
Ottawa.
They're
Well,
all listed as fake contacts. Love it.
well, again, we did a fake contacts because of the fact that the we don't want to have it associated with anybody alive or dead, and so therefore we do have to say fake contacts.
Okay. Yes, I'm seeing that question there as well. Um, so the only way that you're going to be able to remove it there, and you, so what you want to do is you could search by Zillow now, which is great. You can search by the source. That's the type there. If you want to search by the source, Zillow here.
Sadly, this is going to bring up nobody in mind because I have it, but let's just use the all here.
Exactly. So Christine, you should have, when you search the source Zillow, all those contacts will come up. If you don't want them in here, when you are deleting, we make it so it's not really easy to delete a customer in the fact that you just hit a button or two and they're deleted, because it would be hard to get them back. So when you select them, either select them all or one by one, you're going to see the little trash can. When you click on there, you're going to type out delete, and you're going to type out delete in uppercase. So if you typed it in lowercase, it won't allow you to delete.
And if
And
you type it poorly, it doesn't allow you to.
if you misspell it, it won't allow you to delete
Yeah,
either.
even if you do this way. Yeah, I like to say
That's kind of
dummy
the,
proof is a great, Pam, but whenever you make something dummy proof,
there's so many.
the
Okay.
world creates a better dummy.
Oh no, she has so many. You know
So
what? If you'd like, let me reach out to you after this, and I can help. Yeah, I can help you with that. So
the other
don't.
thing, just to help you out, if you were to click on multiples like this, or even I've got these three clicked, I'm going to scroll down just randomly, hover over this, hold my shift key, and then click, and it'll highlight all of them. I can do a full deletion here. But one of us can definitely reach out to you and help you out.
I've got her contact information. Thank
You
you.
got it? Okay, cool.
Yes, I have it. Yep.
Okay, cool. Then Heather has already volunteered to be your official helper. So you get to enjoy hanging out with Heather a little bit more. She's cool to hang out with, so it's awesome.
Perfect. Okay,
What do
so now
you
we've gone over the delete. Let's go back to Lauren's question here really quick, if we can go back on how to delete a type, because you still can delete a type, you just can't do it in a bulk. So if you go into your contacts, and you do have to do it one by one, but if you like accidentally gave a contact the wrong type, you can just go directly into their contact record, click on the edit contact right at the very top, and you're going to scroll all the way down until you see your types. And there's a little X beside it where you can remove it there. Remove whatever types you don't want on there, and then scroll down and hit save. So yes, unfortunately, you cannot do it in bulk to remove them. However, you can do it one by one if you accidentally gave maybe one or two customers the wrong type. All right.
Cool.
So what's next on our agenda? Oh, cool features. This is another one of my favorites. So this is one of those ones where I said, like, there's a lot of features in the program. So don't think that you need to learn them all today, or that you need to learn every feature in the program. It's a lot of information to know. But, if this is one of those features that you're probably going to be using anyway, possibly on different, on maybe a different program, or you're writing this all down on paper. So this is another cool way to do this. So you don't have to write it down on paper. You don't lose the paper. So this is, I usually like to ask my customers, like you, when you're showing customers homes, like this is for a buyer, this is for yourself to stay organized, and it's for your buyers. So I usually like to ask, like, how do you keep how do you keep a list of all the homes that you showed your customer? The reason why you want to do this is because when that customer comes back to you and says, oh yeah, I was interested in that house again that I saw like 3-4 weeks ago, and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but you should. If you have this list, you'll know what they're talking about. So let's just kind of go do a quick demo and show you how this works. So we're gonna click on Olga again, which is a fake customer. That's a buyer. We're going to go ahead and click on Property Insights. So again, think of this as a list for yourself to stay organized. Your customers don't see this. This is all for you. And just to know, either this could be properties that maybe Olga sent to you saying, I saw this home for sale. I'm kind of interested in seeing it. Maybe it's like after you know your buyer, you have an idea of homes that they would like. You can add homes on here that you've sent to them, as well as homes that you've showed them they don't like, they love, they've made offers. So let's go ahead and start adding them in. When you're adding the address, it's going to automatically populate. So make sure if you're typing really fast, just give it a minute, make sure it's in the list. This again only pulls from your MLS board. So you want to make sure it's from your MLS that you've added to your MLS credentials in your settings. And then here you can type in the address. You also have the option to put in the MLS number as well as when you're searching and adding.
That's US dollars. $1 million for a 4-bedroom. Okay,
Wow, and
3,800 square feet. Okay. Now
it's a pretty
shut
big house. Yeah.
caught me off guard.
All right, so we're going to click here. We're going to say inquired on. So this customer inquired on this property. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and save that property and site. And let's go ahead and add one more just so you kind of get an idea to see what this looks like.
Hang on. I need to
Yeah,
get something important.
I'm putting Glenn to work. Love it.
They give me have a little patience. Let me get the info. So the reason I was having to do what I'm doing is you can add it by address, or if you can get the MLS ID of the property, you put that in and search, and that's the one. Yeah. So let's say this is one they were not interested in, even though, but they wanted to show you exactly what they don't like. Like they really don't want to have a gravel driveway with 4 railways ties across the way to say this is a parking spot, but it is not interested. And then save.
Awesome. And you can make those notes, and we're going to show you where those notes are going to be stored. So let's go ahead and make a note on here about didn't like driveway. The house is like really small and the driveway's huge. Awesome. Okay, so house is smaller than the driveway. There you go. So not interested. We're going to show you this here in a second. You're going to see it here as well. And let's go ahead. Let's say the one that they inquired on. Let's just say they put an offer in on that. So if you go click on here and say made offer, and now you're going to see the add transaction. So I think that's really cool that again, it just kind of gives you the next steps to go through. But another thing about these notes, this is one thing that's pretty neat is that you're going to see it under the notes. I kind of want to annotate. I don't know why. I think
You should be able to.
Oh, can I? I'm just so used to doing that. Oh, yes, I can. I'm just so used to annotating on my calls. Okay, so sorry, you can go ahead, you can see the notes, and you can also see the address that you just left that note for. And I'm gonna stop annotating.
There will be a recording put up on our YouTube site, Jenna. And I hope I said your name properly. Forgive me if I didn't, but it'll be up on our YouTube. Plus, again, if you go up to this button up here in the top right and go to support site, you can get to all of our webinar schedule, click on mastering, and you'll have a history of the last 10 that we've done. And we've only done 10 of these ones because it was a newer webinar that we created. But I'll have the next one up later today.
Awesome. So yeah, you'll see these notes under your notes as well as your dashboard. When you first sign in, it'll show your most recent notes. So you don't have to go right into your property insights to go to that specific house to find the notes on them. You're just going to see it right there in the contact record under a couple different places. So I think that's really neat how it kind of all ties together. And you're going to be the most organized agent ever, which also being organized is going to save you time. So I love this. What do you think there, Glenn?
I think I agree 100% with that. Organization is key. Fortunately, I have my desk in the standing mode, so you can't see that I tell people to be organized, yet I live in disorganized chaos. That's why I put the desk in standing mode.
I'm kind of feeling like that in the last little bit. All right, so next we have our market snapshot. Now, you may or may not be using Market Snapshot. It also goes hand in hand with another new feature that we recently came out with in the last year. But Market Snapshot is a pretty neat way to also another thing that you can use to follow up with your contacts. You can send to buyers and or sellers. It shows them, it pulls directly from your MLS board. So you do have to belong to an MLS board. And then as long as we support that board here in Top Producer, you can use Market Snapshot. So you may or may not have this feature. If you do, let's just say you're sending to a buyer. Essentially what you would do is set up a Market Snapshot. It's really easy to set it up. And you would send them information based on their criterias and what they're looking for. So as a buyer, they're typically looking within a certain area. They kind of know what they want. They would also have, hopefully, before you send this to them, that they have their pre-approval. So for how much they can spend on a home. And then you put in like how many bedrooms they like, how many bathrooms, this sort of stuff. Again, a buyer can be very picky and says, you know what, I would just want this specific area. So you can really customize this for your customers. Also sending it to a seller, you can target their specific address. They're still going to see the Market Snapshot the same as a buyer would, but they're going to see homes that have sold in their area that are similar to theirs. So it gives them like a good idea of what they could, essentially what they can get from their home, what other homes have sold for that are comparable in their neighborhood as well.
But
So that's
one thing I will suggest, I always say put in the initial stuff here, the contact details and the target property info, and then scroll down to the very bottom because you notice you've got so many options to add in. It's best to go down and click on preview listings first. The reason for this is we will send a maximum of 100 properties. Right here, with just in that zip code alone, there's 177 properties. So yeah, it would pick the top 100, but this now tells you when you do make the changes, you are going to get alterations. You're going to be able to say, hey, let's go to 3 beds and 2 baths, and then do another preview to see what it's like. You'll see it goes from 177 to 174 because apparently they like a lot of beds down there in Birch Bay, probably because it's kind of a vacation area. But let's say we don't want anything under 750,000. I mean, I know this is a little extra work, but now we've cut it down to 84 properties. So you can
which is
keep,
still pretty high.
I know it's expensive down there, but it's a beautiful area. But
But it's a
you can,
pretty high number. So one
yeah.
thing I would suggest doing, like the 84 listings, a couple things with that being said. And Christine, yes, it will show all this for sale as long as it's on that specific MLS that you're pulling from. But so if you're sending to a buyer, one thing we suggest doing is probably not sending more than 15, like 20 max. As a realtor, you would know, like, you don't want to send your customer 80 homes that they might go crazy and run for the hills, and they don't have time to search for that. So you do want to narrow it down for really what they want. And yes, it will show them the for sale listings.
Yeah.
Another thing that's great about it too is that they will get notified about a new listing that comes on the market. And you don't have to do that. You're only going to set it up for them the one time. So you can have it so they get it weekly, bi-weekly, was it quarterly, 6 months, a year? Yeah, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, quarterly, every 6 months, a year. So I mean, you have it so that depending on, are they a hot buyer? Are they kind of just like, oh, I'm just kind of browsing? You can decide how often they're going to get this. And in the meantime, if a new listing comes out, they will get notified about that.
And one thing, we usually have it end at 12 o'clock. We usually do 1 hour, but if it goes a little bit longer and you have time, we definitely don't mind because we want to answer any questions you have.
And I just noticed that we are going over time. So
Yeah.
we've kind of maybe go a little bit faster than we typically. But
We
yeah,
took a little bit of time on advanced search because that's new and cool.
absolutely. So again, with this Market Snapshot, another cool feature is that I do really like about it is that where you're looking at it here is you can see if the emails have been opened. Hey, is this one that you sent to me? I did open it.
Yeah, you finally opened it. Thanks.
But I haven't, this must be my other, if we go to the other one that says Heather Crozier, it'll show that I opened it and I've actually Where am I?
It's still Heather C. It's the other
Oh,
one.
this
Yeah.
one here. Look, I opened it 5 times.
Thank you.
I tried to click a few times so that way it looks like. Awesome. So this here is you can see the activity that your customers are doing. Another thing I like about that is because if you're not getting in any activity, send them a text, another email, call them even, and say, hey, I sent you a market snapshot. Go have a look at it. Let me know what you think. Get them clicking, get them interested, and you can come back here to make sure that you can see their activity. To have a quick look at what that report looks like, you can click on view report, and then this is what the market snapshot looks like. Now, in your settings, in your main settings, when you click on there, you're going to go to market snapshot. Make sure that you have everything checked on, even the solds. Yes, you're going to send your buyers the solds. And the reason for this is because you want them to see what the market looks like. Yeah, so this here, Glenn's just quickly showing you is that it's in your settings under market snapshot. Just make sure everything here is checked on. So let's go back and have a quick look at that market snapshot so we can show you. So here you're sending this to a buyer and yikes, there's 68 solds. It's a lot. I get it. But if you in the main settings didn't have that turned on, then you're going to see 0%. Where else would it say? Oh, days on market. It would say, sorry, I think these two here would be 0%. And then it would just look like a bad market and nobody's going to want to buy from there. So definitely keep them on. But what Glenn just did is that you can check off the sold. So those 68, instead of having to scroll all the way through them, click on it, remove them from the list. And now you can just scroll through the ones. Yeah, you can click on the ones that's canceled, that's pending, and just click on the ones that are actually for sale. All this information pulls right from your MLS. So the customers can click on these homes, they can see all the photos, they can see the details. And if they like it, you're going to get notified that your customer liked this. So it's a really neat report that I highly suggest, taking advantage of it if you have this set up.
Yep. Let me close that down because
Exactly. Yeah.
there's a very good question. So Christine asks, can you only send active to client A and client B individually, or can you change that in settings for all clients? This here is the overall global settings for your top producer or for your market snapshot. So you will have for buyers and sellers, you want to keep all these on unless you have a personal opinion and you don't want people to see any expired or withdrawn. You can always take those off. But keeping them on is a good idea because that way you can get all the information to your clients. That you can then individually, when we go back to market snapshot under marketing, we can look at this and you can turn off listing alerts for the different items and get it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I hit the wrong button. See, even us techs make mistakes now and then. You would have it so that everybody would have that. It's down here. It's just the listing alerts you can choose. So you do have to set that as a global setting everywhere. Cool. When I see the words nice, I feel that we're doing our job.
I'd also suggest sending one to yourself so you can see how that works.
Yeah, perfect. All right, let's see. I'm going to clear up some of my extra tabs here so we can. Did I just close the wrong tab? I did. Okay. Sorry, Heather, I closed our
You closed our slideshow?
I
Not a
closed our
problem.
slideshow.
Well, the next thing we were going to go over was what's new, which we already did for the search, which just came out today. So that is definitely the most newest feature that we just came out with. And we do have another feature called Social Connect. We're going to kind of go over that a little bit. It's still relatively new. We've had it, has it been a year already?
No, just shy of a year.
Just shy of a year. Okay. Social Connect, it is a new lead program. I'm going to explain how it works. You may or may not have it. And this is something that if you want to bring in leads from online, directly online. And first I want to say is we don't guarantee leads. We can't say that these people are ready to buy a house right now. We don't call them on our end. However, what we do is create ads for you. They are posted on Facebook and Instagram, and they are pulling from your MLS. So whatever listings Active listings and sold listings is how the ads are created. They get put on Facebook and Instagram. It does go based on an algorithm. So it's already targeting people that have been looking at the housing market. Same thing, like, if you're shopping for new shoes or you're searching something and 2 minutes later you start seeing these ads pop up on Facebook, it's initially the same thing that happens with the Social Connect. So a customer will see, or let's call them inquiring leads. Someone there that could be a buyer, could be a seller, could be what I like to call a looky-loo, because that's kind of what I am. That somebody that may see your ad will click on it. They can click learn more, and if they do, their information pops up on the screen. Then they have that option if they close out of the program, or if they say next or continue, and that's when they come into your system as a inquiring lead. So from there, they automatically get emails, they automatically get the market snapshot. You can really just sit back and wait for somebody to respond to you. I though highly suggest that you call them. Maybe give it a couple hours from the time they come in. You can kind of, arrange that whatever works best for you. I suggest this is my own personal opinion. I suggest waiting a little bit because somebody just clicked on the internet and all of a sudden 5 seconds later their phone's ringing, so they might be a little thrown off by that. When they do and you get a hold of this customer, it could be like, hey, this is Christine. Thanks for clicking on my ad. I'm a realtor in such and such area. You can say like, thanks for clicking on my ad on Facebook for this address, because you will see the address that they clicked on. Just a few little talking points there. And then, hopefully make these people active clients of yours. So that's that. It's a pretty simple program. We do a lot of the work for you. And yeah, there's different packages available. I think we have 4 packages, starts at $250, then $500, and not really sure what the other ones are.
It's
At least
250, 500, 750, and 1,000.
750, 1,000, exactly. If you're working with a really large team, maybe you want to start at 1,000 and kind of share some of these inquiring leads that are coming in. Otherwise, I think it's great to start at a 250 and give it a go and see how you like it. And it is a 6-month term. And if you have any more questions about it, you can reach us down at the handy chat, or you can even send us a chat on here and say you're interested, and we will reach out to you and go from there. Apart from Social Connect, we like to say that we're mobile friendly. So we don't have an app. However, you can easily add this to your home screen on your phone. I will give you the Android version because this is actually a picture of my phone. I use Samsung. Glenn will take care of the Apple. So to add it to your Samsung, you can use any browser. I use Chrome, so I go onto Chrome. I type in crm.topproducer.com, and this is what I get. I go here, and in the very top right corner, you're going to see on this picture here, I can use a little annotation. You'll see the little 3 dots. When you click on here, you're going to get a drop down, and it says add to home screen. And that's it. Away you go. And Glenn, if you want to give the instructions on how to add it to your Apple phone.
So on an Apple phone, you would go through Safari, go to crm.topproducer.com. And when the site comes up, you'll notice along the very bottom, you have 5 icons. 2 of them are arrows for back and forward. The one in the middle is a square box with an arrow pointing up. Click on that, scroll through the options, and there'll be an option to add to home screen. Simple as that.
Awesome. And I think the link that Glenn just also added in the chat is a nice little video that shows you exactly step by step as well on how to add that to your cell phone. So I think we've just about covered everything. We do this, a couple times a month, give or take?
Every second and fourth Wednesday of the month, which
Okay.
I think Pam brought it to my attention that causes some confusion because if you sign up for both of them, you get 2 long lists of different things. So I might have to adjust that. So I want to thank and put that out to Pam. So if anybody does sign up for the first Wednesday and also the second Wednesday, you are going to get what looks like conflicting dates. It actually means both dates. So sorry, that's on me. 100% me, not Heather, me.
Gotcha. But you'll see, you can go to our calendar and support.topproducer.com, click on webinars, and you can see it on our calendar when we offer this here, which again, we just kind of go over everything, and then we love to answer your questions. With the support page, we have lots of information, video library, how-to guides. You can type in how to send an email. It'll give you step-by-step instructions on how to do that. And I mean, we didn't even cover how to send an email today, did we? So
No, we didn't. Oops.
I feel like, and we covered a lot. We also have a topproducer.com blog. We have a YouTube page. So youtube.com/topproducersoftware. We have Facebook groups, all kinds of info. You really cannot go wrong here. And our live chat down in the bottom right corner, which we are real people. And so that is Monday to Friday, 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern time and 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
And yes, Christine, we have a lot of dates. We do this every, like I say, second and fourth Wednesday of every month. So whenever something new shows up, it can go there. If we come up with new ways to do it, because Heather and I do these without an actual script. We like to do it on the fly so that we can answer questions and go over what's needed. So if you do run into something, you can always pop in here and hopefully one of us can help you.
Another thing that I'd like to add is that, and I don't know if I've ever asked this, but if there's anything that you think that we can do better on these webinars, or maybe something that you'd really like to learn about and we can add to our webinars bi-weekly, please let us know and we would love to go over that for you as well.
Jenna, the webinar will be posted on YouTube at the YouTube link that I gave. I will have that up before end of day today. I do have to wait until Zoom finishes it, and then I have to encode it and put it up to YouTube, but it'll be up today. Heather, hold me to that.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
I'll put a little notification on my phone. This is how I like to stay organized too. I need reminders. It was a bit fast though. Okay, awesome. So we'll know to slow down next time. And you know what? By all means, please let us know. And we can always go back and show you and absolutely. And also we do, I don't think I've mentioned this, or maybe I did. We do have one-on-ones as well. You pay for a concierge, which you either get to meet with myself or Glenn, and we have two other awesome people on our onboarding team. And you get to meet with us a few times to really kind of dig in and go over everything with you and really help you get set up with your CRM.
Yeah, that's why we do schedule these only for an hour, Christine, but we do go overtime now and then because we have a lot going on. We do try to get through all of that in an hour. Constantly, this is a updatable thing. If we do need to go to a longer time, we will, which Heather and I keep thinking we need to. So we
The
do
more
try to
features
see
we
if
add, we might have to go longer with the
yeah,
webinars. Absolutely.
yeah. But definitely, if you have any questions, we're happy to help. Our support team is very happy to help you too. And again, all humans. And again, I always have to put this disclaimer: all names, characters, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. No identification with actual persons living or deceased, places, and buildings is intended or should be inferred. I have to put that out there because
Or YouTube will take
YouTube.
us down.
Yeah,
Please don't
exactly.
take us down, YouTube. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Awesome.
so I guess sorry that it was fast. We will try to get that, but we've got a lot to go over. We might have to take care of that, but I think Christine, you're going to get a phone call from Heather in the next couple of minutes to assist you with your situation there and get everything de-zillified.
Yes, Christine, I'll be in touch with you shortly.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Pam. I'm glad to hear that it was, and you as well, Lauren. I'm glad to hear we were helpful and we were able to help you out. Heather and I do try to make it fun and enjoyable because it is a lot of dry information, but we want to make sure you're all looking at the software and realizing you've got a good investment here that's going to make your life easier. And also, we're trying to teach you to spend less time in it and more time doing the important thing, which is talking to your clients.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much for joining us today. Have a great
Thank you
day.
very much. Have a great day and thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.